what we're looking for in more of the, the jerk, we're dip, drive, re-dip, and we drop underneath and catch in a structural position. So dip, drive, re-dip, we catch, right? So back to the bent press. It's more of a static type of concept. So I'm hinging in the hip, but as I'm hinging, I really have to be working that shoulder mobility, and I'm turning and pressing out at a lower position. So it's more here. And then once I get there, I'm driving through my QLs, my glutes, and driving it overhead, so a lot like a windmill in that position. So you're shortening the range of motion on the press. So the bent press, again, a really different one for a lot of people, but we're gonna work on it. Go really light with your weight. Even if you go no weight today and just work on the form and the mechanics, that's absolutely ideal. The last one, a bent row. We'll work with a barbell most likely. I might even change it up. A lot of where I go with these things is I look at the movement patterns that I want to work and some of the muscular structure that I want to hit within those movement patterns. So I always focus on the movement first, and then what muscle is operating within that structure, so that the muscles get trained in the process of movement. But if we really focus on just isolating the pure muscle, oftentimes we lose the overall chain of movement through our full body mechanics and kinetic chain. So we break down and we become a little less functional. But again, there's a time and a place to really focus on some isolation work, and we're going to work on that today. We're like on time. I started super early today. I wanted to get in the talk on the workout ahead of time so we could run down that. I'm going to hit a little break. No, I'm not. I was going to hit a break and restart, but we're just going to roll right into this bad boy. Hey, that's the coffee talk, right? Come on in. The missus is like, I don't know what's happened. She's got this sheepish, like, she's hiding in the, she asked me to not call her the missus. She doesn't like that today. I like it during coffee and curls. Good morning. Good morning. She doesn't like it when I call her missus, I guess. That's not a good thing. I like it. You know what? Here's the deal. We work together as teammates, and we have trained together for a long period of time, and in many different facets. And so, you know what? It's all good. She's my teammate. She's my co-worker. She's my partner in this thing, and my wifey on the other side. So I'm blessed to have a partner like that. And she kicks my ass in these workouts every single week. I'm like the dripping mess at the end of this thing, and she's rocking it out. But if you've taken her classes or you've worked with Allie, you know exactly why. She has the energy, right? So.
And he's always my coach. I'm always learning more. I love it. I have to develop myself to be a better coach. And it's always nice to have an influence in your life that inspires you to be better, so it works both ways.
I give her the compulsion and all of the, those components and the structure, and we focus on a lot of that on my side, and she's a lot of the harmony and inspiration for your relationship with your fitness or your healthy lifestyle in general, whether if that's I really focus on these pieces being now, it's funny, this evolution of how I've seen the elements evolve, and it's a lifestyle piece that applies to all things, whether if it's sport or lifestyle or functionality or whatever that is, occupational functionality, nutrition, number one, or mindset, number one, getting your mind right, setting your goals, knowing your direction, knowing your path. Without an end goal or a direction, you have no destination. You're in maintenance mode, and that's great. Accept that. Set some goals otherwise if you want some direction. Number two is your nutrition, your intake, what you put in, and I add hydration into that category as well. So hydration, nutrition, your intake. If you're not focusing on your nutrition and adding the highest quality foods, and you're not doing the right thing. Number three is your breath work. Breath is the connection from your mind to your body. It's how we control our nervous system. Most of our world is living in a place of fight or flight. We're mouth and chest breathers, and that's an issue, and hence the virus just spinning in this cycle. Work on your full breath practice, strengthening your system, learning how to belly breathe, learning how to intake through your nose, out through your nose, how to deal with this stuff, because now guess what, you're underneath of a mask, And that mask is recycling some bad stuff through your system. I'll save that talk for another time, but you know, really practicing good breath outside of this is crucial. Number 4 is movement, you know, whether if it's strength or conditioning or jujitsu or kickboxing or boxing or yoga or whatever it is. I just throw it all into the movement category, right? Maybe it's hiking, maybe it's walking your dog, maybe it's whatever, playing with your kids, maybe that's the activity, but you should have that movement or activity every single day into something, and at varied intensity rates throughout the week, right? Some days I roll hard in jujitsu, of course not now, with my dummies only, right? But regardless, we have these varied intensity levels through the week. And to me, a functional lifestyle optimized is one that you know how to manage all of these components. And that comes into that final piece, the 5th element, which is restoration and recovery. Learning how to sleep correctly, and how to read and be intuitive on these things. Knowing what to look for is going to help you find those pieces, right? So gaining some education from true professionals that can help take you to that next level is absolutely essential. Find a coach that's intelligent, knowledgeable, comprehensive, efficient, and effective with their means of delivering results, period. And not wasting your damn time, okay? Sorry for the bombs in my classes. When you come to Coffee and Curls, expect the skulls and crossbones a little bit, but also it's real. You're going to get real education and learn how to move properly throughout this class. I talk a crap ton, but you will get amazing results throughout this process. Continue to show up, but that's the key, all right? Take the class, take the program, all right? Jump into it, commit. There's my rant, there's my lecture. Like I said, Death Wish Coffee today. Living it up.
What a name of coffee.
Holy shit, man. So I cut coffee through most of this. I see my boy Third Eye Pyro on there. What's happening? Terry Nations, what's up? Thank you for the message last night. Appreciate that. Thank you for logging on today. About to get the swole on in here. Death Wish Coffee, once again, got me cracked out. So quarantine, okay, quarantine. I cut coffee for like 2 months, and was not easy in the beginning. I'll tell you, getting the Spanish flu, corona, juju in the beginning and getting sick helped through that challenge me find a new opportunity to drop a bad habit. Because guess what? I didn't want caffeine while I was sick. If you are sick, the last thing you should be putting into your body is caffeine, okay? Maybe a small bit for if you got migraine issues because you're addicted. But otherwise, what's happening out there? PSGESQ, what's happening? You know, caffeine is, I know she's all antsy, okay? I'm getting there. Let me finish my piece, okay? This is, my crew hangs out and they talk and they listen and we hang out, we learn and we grow together through a little bit of bullshit too, all right? This is Coffee and Curls is the class. So caffeine, running your system down, a terrible thing to be putting in. A couple micronutrients you should be shoving in. Well, first off, water. Number 2, electrolytes. Number 3, vitamin D, vitamin C, okay? Even throw in some E. Make sure that you're putting the right things in your body. Start juicing, right? All right, let's roll. You ready to do this or what?
I'm ready.
All right, first thing. Dumbbell reverse flies, dumbbell external rotations, and plate teacups. 3 sets, shoulder mobility, and we have our plates.
I have a set of plates. I wasn't sure what weight you wanted to go with.
Let's roll.
Okay.
All right, first set. Dumbbell bent over, reverse flies. I take this angle here. Now let's take a little bit of it back. Because I want to really show the hip hinge in this position, really crucial, because I see a lot of people, they end up in a rounded back. And now you're hitting bad positions in these reverse flies, so really important. Take a lighter weight today. I want to see full extension, tricep contraction on these. So it's hinge in the hips, slight bend in the knee, so minimal knee flexion, maximal hip. Bring the dumbbells in front of your shins. And we're gonna take them straight out to the side. Nice and controlled, up, slow and steady tempo. Like a 1.5, 2 second up. We're gonna take this out for 10. Allie's my rep counter here while I'm the talker. And I do a lot of that. Exercise my mouth through this thing, you know. Again, really extend those elbows, contracting those triceps. Raise it back up. All right, the external rotations. Roll the shoulders back, neutral spine. Okay, looking straight forward. Tuck the chin and raise them up. Palms are up, so supinated. Elbows kind of rest into your obliques. Right from here, let's roll them back and forward. Let's go 15 on these. Nice. Hang on to it, almost there. Really squeeze the back of the shoulders. Good. Think of pinching the shoulder blades together every time. You shouldn't rotate over into a shoulder protraction, but they should rotate in a little bit and really focus on pulling them back at the very end, right? Now, grab if you've got a plate or you've got a plate, but let's be careful that if it's your first time, they're not separated from each other. So right from here, all right, let's actually start with one side to work on this. So we're gonna start low. We're gonna take it out and around behind our head, and we're gonna lean. Bring it around, holding, keeping it upright, turning it underneath. We're gonna bring it around. For 2, we're gonna go 5. 3, you can go with absolutely no weight on these and just work the motion. 4, working that full body coordination in there. Let's hand it off, other side. Here we go, we take it outward. We work a little bit of the hip rotation. You can really change these into a lot of different ways of doing these. More strict, more controlled, more movement in the hips. I like to really work into the hip hinge, like right here. I think of the position of like a windmill, right? Or the bent press today. You really work those hips and that back all the way through flexions and extensions of both ankles. I'm gonna take one more time around. Not sure where I'm at.
You're at 5.
Good, okay. All right, first round, strength mobility done. We move into the second round. We're gonna drive straight through. I talked a crap ton in the beginning, so we're gonna move a crap ton now. I said it, crap. All right, here we go. Hips hinge backwards, arms straight, elbows extended, triceps contracted, fly straight up. 2 second up and down tempo, control. 10 of them. Look down, not forward. Don't crank the cervical spine or the neck. You should feel your hamstrings engaging, almost stretching here. You should feel the tension. Vertical shin. Good. Now we go into dumbbell external rotations. We bring them up. Rest the elbows on our obliques, kind of roll the shoulders back. Now we open it up. 15. 1, 2, 3. Keep the dumbbells in your hands above your elbows. Feet underneath your hips. Your quads are active, your hamstrings are active because your hips are neutral. Like a bucket of water. Talk about this. Keep that bucket of water balanced. It's your hips. Good. So, not peacocking the butt out, right? I said peacocking the butt out. Hips are neutral, that's my key. No butt peacocking today. All right, here we go. We're gonna do 2? You wanna do 2? We'll do 1. All right. So, here we go, back here. Let's take it around our head. We're gonna go bring it down and around. 1. Work that rotation, work the hip hinges, all those movements as we come through. Lean back into full extension, hinge back through, hit those angles. Did I skip one? I think I skipped one. I'm not doing that. Not that guy. Here we go. All right, we're gonna take it back. Other side. Love the hip hinge angles here. Really opens everything up. Mostly like the QLs, which are the lower back. A lot of people feel that strain from sitting all day long, that low back. That's usually the QLs being super tight. Psoas, that leads into psoas. So if you've got psoas issues, not a sore ass, but psoas, dorky trainer, old man trainer joke right there. Psoas, yes. All right from here, third round, last one. Hinge the hips back. Neutral spine, look down, straight out. Elbow extension, tricep contraction, 2-second tempo up and down, 10 reps. How would Batman hold himself in this position? Well, he wouldn't look up, okay? Keep the chin down, because he can't look up because of his mask. One more, okay. It's always my cue. You always hear the same stupid one-liner because you don't forget it. It's like dad mode, dad jokes. Reason why we do those dumb dad jokes. Plant the statements. Here we go. 1, dad therapy. 2, 3, 4. Kind of like coaching. Come to my kids' class sometime. 5 more. Come on. Nice. Good work. 3 rounds, baby. Done with those.
We have one more of these.
Oh, I'm always like losing. I'll forget something on every single segment or set or whatever. Here we go. We're going to take it all the way around. I'm more excited to finish, you know. I always like in the moment, I'm like zen with it. I'm like, let's get through this. Reality. Most people think, meet me or whatever, they think I absolutely love the training. Like, to be honest, despise the training part. I love the result though. The result outpowers the work every single time. So it's always worth it. I struggle in the process, I'll be honest. I procrastinate, I'm the worst. And I'm a coach telling you this, and I've coached for 30 years in different facets from martial arts through. She, on the other hand, is harmony. She can't miss a day without it. But she also struggles in setting the goals. And some, hey, no, listen, hey, see, she goes, she gives me this thing back here. Spousal training here, okay? We're working together on this. I learned from her on that harmonic way. I'm not saying she can't set goals. She doesn't have to because she lives it every single day. Feel loose, feel stable, feel strong. Ready to move a barbell or two, maybe? Oh yeah, see, here we go. Who's that? DRB said you whooped their stuff the other day. See? She does it in this, like, I say it, you know, it's like this rabid flower. Like, it's this poisonous flower that, you know, watch it. It looks so easy and beautiful and elegant from the outside. Come into that workout. No problem. I'll be feeling that sting at the end. She whoops my butt. Oh, we ready to move or what?
3 sets, 4 plus. Are we doing 4 to 20?
No, we're gonna do 10 reps. Okay. Floor press, part 2. Floor press into seated Z press, into skull crushers, into bent press, into bent row. So I'm gonna go barbell on this today. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Again, you know, backpack, dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, just grab something, okay? If you want to go heavy, go heavier, reduce the reps a little bit. You know, if we're going 10 reps and you want to go super heavy, there you go. You want to change it up a little bit, you know, like floor press. If you want to add in push-ups, you could, right? If you have no equipment. You can absolutely change up whatever, and we'll give you little pieces, right? Shoulder press, or the Z press, if you don't have a barbell, and you could do a handstand against a door or something, that would be awesome. You could put your knees up on the couch, face down, okay, and into like a mini handstand and push yourself up and down. That's a really great way. A chair is another great substitute. So keep that stuff in mind. Try and go a little bit heavier if you can on the floor press and on the bent over row. And the others, try to be really slow and strict on your movement and precise, all right? All right, I see a couple other people on there. What's this say? Did we lock up on anyone? I see Terry asking if it locked up. Hopefully we're good out there. All right, we're gonna roll part 2. So we're gonna move through the rep side of it again. 3 sets all the way through, 5 movements in total. Let's rock. I'm gonna go with you. So you kind of go like right forward so I don't roll this on you. I'll stay on this line. All right, we go right up, set of 10, here we go. Rest on the ground for a slight pause, power up out of the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to have about a 45-degree angle on your arm when it hits the ground. Okay, the Z press. You probably want to be lighter on these. Those 10s would be great. You can go wide leg. So we coach Allie through some of this stuff. So we go nice wide legs, ankles, in flexion, really extending those knees, okay? And what this does is from the bottom of your foundation, your ankles and your feet, pulling those ankles back into flexion is going to activate your posterior chain. So you should feel the front of your shins. Muscle on the front of your shin is your anterior tibialis. You should feel that contract. You should feel your hamstrings under tension, your glutes, core, that'll help you engage that core, ribs down, and dumbbells. Think of a hang loose symbol. We want to keep the blade side of our arm, or our pinky side, forward. Extend a full extension up top and stack it up. So all of your joints from your hips to your rib cage, to your shoulder, to your elbow, to your wrist should all be in one, and your spine, your neck, all in alignment. So your ears should be like in line with your arms at the very top. Now, if you're not quite there, that's okay too, right? We're not perfect. I have my broken parts all through my body. I do the best I can at 43 years young, wise, right? And that's all that we can all do within our own ranges. If you're younger and you're an animal, get animal on. Here we go. Right in, 10 of them, straight up. Nice and controlled, slow and steady. 2. About a 2-second up and down. 3. 4. Keep those ankles extended, hamstrings engaged. 10. Excellent. Now we move right into skull crushers. So these, I'm gonna go lighter today. I'm gonna kick my legs up, and we're gonna slow down the tension a little bit. We'll go 15 reps with about a 3-second tension, up and down. So we extend all the way up. Now really key that your arm stays from your shoulder to your elbow point straight to the ceiling. You don't want that to drop down into this shoulder extension, okay? You want to keep that elbow up the whole time, pointing to the ceiling. Hinge at the elbow and slowly lower back. Bring it all the way down to your shoulders, touch your shoulders, extend them up and power. Slowly, 3 seconds back, power up. 2. Now we go to 15. 3. Really keep that elbow pointing upwards. Dumbbell hitting your shoulder. Hinging in the elbow. Dynamic up. Nice work. Okay, now we move into the bend over row. Whether if you have a dumbbell, barbell, whatever you have, medicine ball. We're gonna go 10 reps on this one. So we're gonna go a little bit heavier than we did on the other last couple movements. So I hinge in this position. Watch how he hinges. I'm gonna start with a deadlift. I put my hand on it. And I thought that set of bench was odd. I've got a different weight on each side. I have a 35 on one side and a 25 on the other side. That's awesome. So the interesting part about this workout is I'm not gonna change that. I'm gonna keep that variable and I'm gonna switch it now in the next couple rounds because that's how my mind works through this process. I'm a coach. I made that awesome mistake. 35 plate, 25 plate. You're going to learn on the fly how I deal with that. Right here. Now I have to really focus on keeping my hips and my torso square, and I don't rotate too much on my pole with that side. So Allie, do me a favor. Grab a 10 pound and grab a 20 pound. Change this up. Switch it. Watch how we change this. Grab 2 variables. Work with me on this. Follow me on this process, okay? Here we go. We're going to hinge in the hip. Try to really focus on keeping yourself square. I'm going to lower back down into my row, pull it up to the waist. Nice and slow and controlled. Pull to the base of the rib cage or top of the abs. I know. So Abby just made an alley point, which is now, instead of doing 3 rounds, guess what I got suckered into doing? I stuck myself into doing. Now we get 4 rounds on this because we got to balance the body out. And that's how we're going to work it, right? All right. That means we're moving faster too. So I'm going to turn my bar around. I'm going to work with a varied load on my press. We're going to go 2 seconds down, pause 1 second, power out of the hole in a press. Here we go. Oh, that was interesting getting it up again. Right, here we go. Slow down, control, power up. So when I picked up that first set of floor press, I thought, I had the 35 on my right side. And I thought, man, I've had a lot of damage on my right side. I've had a separated AC joint in my shoulder. I've had a torn bicep and elbow surgery. I've had 5 knee surgeries, a torn ankle ligament, all right side destruction. And so I thought, I haven't been moving a lot of weight. And man, my right side's really weak today. Interesting how that played out. Regardless. So if you're just now jumping in, we're offsetting load on a couple of these movements today, totally different, a different weight on each side. For this one, we're gonna stay even and steady though. Again, ankle flexion, knees extended, hips in flexion, core is tight. Here we go, load it up. Rack position, push it up. For 1, and down, and up. It's 2, we're gonna take it to 10. 3, keep that lower body in proper position.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's nice work out there. Set at 10. Now we move right into your skull crushers. I'm gonna stay with the same dumbbells. Hinging in the elbow, elbows pointing straight to the ceiling. Stats. Above the shoulder, you're gonna hinge back. Here we go, and back, and up. You should be touching your shoulder with the end cap of the dumbbell. Power out. 9, 10. Keep going, Fisher. Keep those elbows pointed up. We're going to do 5 more. Nice work. Stay strong. Try to power out quick. Nice dynamic. Slow and static down. Good. All right. Now we go into bent over rows again. I did skip the bent press, but again, how we improvise on the fly, I'm gonna throw the bent press on the very last set. So really mix it up. All right, so again, I'm offset. I've got 35 on my left side, 25 on my right now. Bent over row. So my goal is to keep my body nice and square the whole time. Here we go. Woo, 2 rounds down. Original goal was to only had it laid out for 3 sets, but because of my screw up, we're doing extra. That's how it goes. Improvise. Have fun with it. Take your fitness serious in the way that you're consistent. It becomes habitual. It's routine. It's lifestyle, but not so rigid that it stresses you out, right? It's developing a stress, then you change it up, even if it's momentary. There are times where I go in and out of training modalities. It's why I've gone in and out of so much, to be honest. Called ADD. But, I have interest in other pieces. So as I get burned out in one thing, I navigate into the other one. It allows me to diversify and keep moving, right? And not fry out. So keep that in mind. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna spin it around again, offset my weight. Throwing the 35 on the right side, 25 on the left. Mixing it up. Offloaded. Oh, that's so weird. I'm gonna be a little bit safer this round and actually put some clips on, because that offload, that was a part of the real challenge. That was making sure I hit the plate slide off. Decapitate my wife here. Not a good thing. Not a good way to start the day. All right. Here we go up into the floor press. And down. Pause. Power out. 10 of them. Here we go. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, legs are wide, ankles are in flexion, knees are in extension, hips are in flexion, torso, spine, rib cage is neutral. Looking forward, press up and slowly down. 2 seconds down and back. 2. Take this one to 10. I feel my ankles wanting to extend, knees wanting to lift. Keep that all engaged. Hamstrings under tension. Anterior tibialis, the front of your shin under tension. One more. Boom. And ribs down, that's a key one. Not overextending and driving into that low back. All right, skull crushers, here we go. Hinging in the elbow, 15. Lower back slow, power out, 1. Really try to snap if you can into extension. Control, but dynamic. Get strong in that powerful joint extension. That's really going to keep you strong in that end range as I was discussing on the beginning of the workout. That slow negative is your bicep controlling, stabilizing the downward pressure. But when you come down past that point of 90-degree elbow, good. Once you come past that 90-degree point, the bicep really comes in as a stabilizer, or kind of like I think of it like a shock system. So a lot like the hamstrings when you squat below parallel. Then your hamstrings really engage like a suspension system, and it starts to support the body. So it's kind of like a spring, right? So that bicep in that downward position of elbow flexion becomes like that spring. So as you're loading back, it should really give you some recoil out of that bottom position. So a lot of people, when they get crushed into a position where they're thinking of like really trying to push with their tricep, once you go past a 90 degree, the tricep's eliminated, okay? You have zero power. So you need to learn how to contract in the bicep and draw out of the bicep to get an actual kind of pulling push type of position. So using that stabilizing muscle being the bicep in that down position. That's what we're really looking to generate when we hit that really full point of flexion, all right? I know I talk too much. She's like, come on. Let's go, dude. Bent over rows. Nobody said this was CrossFit, all right? We might take a rest or two when we feel like it. All right, let's go. Bent over, row, nice and controlled, 10 of them. Strong and steady. Either get tough. No way. Not my form's breaking. See, you go 5 more. Let's go. 5. Your weight's light enough that you can go. See, her thing was she wanted to go 5 more. Her partner over here, not going to be socially influenced just because of her position when my body can't keep up, okay? Know your body, learn your body so that you know when you're breaking down. Like I got to rep 8 and started feeling that shoulder pull forward. You start feeling that, it's time to check out, okay? Even if you're so OCD that you got to finish that set of 10, commend you, okay, for your intensity and your commitment. Set the weight down. Get some oxygen back into your body because what's happening is you're hitting a wall. All right, get some oxygen in. Keep it moving along. She wants to keep going. You know, no rest. No rest. Listen to your body. All right, is this our 4th? Third. You sure? No, this is our 4th. I start with 35. See? That's how I got her on this one. She wanted to go 5. That's what happens. Harmony, compulsiveness. Here we go. And 10 reps. Nice and controlled. And down. Pause on the ground, power out. Offset load on this one. Have your balance. A lot of asymmetrical power and strength coming out of this. Stability as well. That's being functional, okay? In life, you don't have 2 perfectly balanced dumbbells. Got my battery shooting at me, low battery, like 10%. It's good, we're on the last round. All right, back into the Z press. Legs extended in the knees, ankles are flexed, hips are hinged, neutral spine, press it up. 10 reps, full extension, stacking wrists, elbows, shoulders, cervical spine, all the way down to the hips. And press them back versus forward.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Skull crushers. Elbow pointing up, hinge, 90 degree, pass it. Rest up, dumbbells on the shoulder caps. Power out, all the way up to full extension. Hinge around. Here we go, 15, 2. So make sure your shoulders are flat on the ground. I'm even finding that I'm shooting my shoulders forward. It's not good either. Woo! That's it, burning out. All right, last one. Here we go, all the way up, down, hinge, 10. You want to get more? Get it. Nice work. Keep going. We're gonna add another little piece in. One movement I forgot, I talked about it in the beginning, was a bent press. I missed it. That's how it goes. We're live, on the fly. No students remind us, coach, you're off. Probably happens once a time in a class, I'd say. All right, so bent press. Allie's gonna start with this 10-pound dumbbell. And in like a rack position. Okay. Let's take a slight angle. Nope, this way. Good. Now, she's gonna take her feet out to about shoulder width like you would on a windmill. Now from here, she's gonna hinge towards that side. So she's gonna hinge towards this hip. And then this is gonna start to stack on her side and she's gonna vertically, nope. Again, let's turn, hinge those hips back and don't press, nope, let me hop in here. Allie is new to this movement as well, so I'm teaching her today. Try to teach her on the fly. Okay, right from here, I'm gonna hinge back And I'm not pressing until I'm getting my weight underneath, so I'm rested, okay? And then the press starts to begin. The more mobile you are in those shoulders to be able to pull that back and get that position, the safer you're gonna be, more load you're gonna be able to stack. Now, if you're really strong, you may be able to muscle your way through. Make sure your body's in good alignment. It'd be better to start with a lighter weight, go through the movement patterns for a little while, develop the movement patterns. But you have to have some load because you've got to find the position where you've got to be able to get underneath of it, okay? So Allie, let's start with the 10. Let's go on our left side. So we're gonna go 10 on each. So Allie's gonna kind of stand behind me and watch me go through. Why don't you go like 2 reps behind me, and then I'll come back through on the very end. We're gonna go through 4 sets of this total, okay? So dumbbell is up. Now I hinge that hip away, and then once I get there, I start pressing it. Now that it's extended, I stand up like a windmill, lower it back down. Hinge into the press, stand it up, 2, 3, there we go. 4, 5, 2 more. Switch sides. Here we go. Hinge. Press. 1, 2. This side's a lot tighter for me. Feel it all through that hip flexor. That's why I've had so many injuries on that side. The tightness isn't a byproduct of the injury. Injuries, byproduct of tightness. Good. The accumulation of tightness after injury is definitely a thing. And that will happen. All right, we're gonna go right back into the other side. Short little breather for a second. I see the kettlebell sitting there. So I'm gonna switch it and add a kettlebell on this one. All right, right back into it. Let's pull back to that other side. So kettlebell rack. Right from here, we're gonna hinge. Come back. And let's go. Hinge back, press it up. Bent press. Back down. Hinge, push off to the side. 2. Use your body's structural mechanics to find leverage. And ultimately creating more strength. Where we at? Really try to keep those knees externally rotated or hips externally rotated, knees out. Knees tracking over your second toe, I should say, more like. This is a better cue, more specific. Last one. 10. Good. Short little breather for a second. Catch your breath. Almost there. I'm gonna mix it up again. Let's see. Step forward, couple feet on this one. Okay, back to the left side again. I go barbell on this one. So here we go, feet at about shoulder width. You're gonna hinge to the left, the implements in your left, pressing it up, standing it. With this barbell, I've got to take it slower, more control because of the rotation in it. So it rotates out. And then there's a lot of control in having to rotate back around and stabilize here. That's what I like about the barbell. If you have a broom would be like a really good light alternative. You can also take a broomstick and attach weights to the end of it. light, you know, water, couple water bottles taped onto it or something. I want to see the thing bend in half and become one of those YouTube videos, you know. Home workout YouTube video. Oh, IG just timed us out at an hour. Almost done here, guys. Stay with it, gals. Oh man, that was a tough set with the barbell. 10, here we go. Last one. Right back up, press through that hinge. Almost press it right up. Getting tired and getting lazy. When the fatigue sets in, your inherent motions will settle in, how you want to lift it for your norm. But the form and the details can go out the window as you fatigue. But then again, that's when the, again, inherent fight or flight responses kick in. You know how you're going to respond under pressure. Beauty of what weight training gives us, or martial arts, or things of this nature, how to deal with fight or flight. Breathing is a huge aspect of managing your stresses and the fight or flight responses. Breathe. Good. One more set?
Yeah.
All right, that was 3. We're going to do 4 just to finish it off. Here we go, last one right into it. Press. 1. Three more. Good, we're going to switch sides, last set of the day. Here we go, that press. Awesome work out there.
Good job.
Good work today. You did awesome. She pushes through. She kicks my butt every single time. I know I said that repeatedly, but again, this is where we partner in this thing. Find your workout partner. If you don't have somebody, you're at home. Find somebody digitally. Maybe you log into Zoom. Use some of these technological apps. Pull your kids into it. Pull your parents into it. Pull your dog into it. Whatever. Just get up and move. Get outside today. You know, maybe do this outside. Put your feet in the grass. Get out. You guys rock. Take care.